said that our community would be stronger, right?
Yeah, you said it would be strong with just single mothers.
It would be strong with single mothers because
you said we don't need. I need you to say it.
We don't really need men in the community.
What's up? Heavy here with another heavy thought, man. And you're about to hear some of my 7th graders talk about men and if we need them or not. And I think this is so important and interesting to talk about because these are little kids who have no clue about no manosphere, but yet they have all the talking points. They don't even know about the waves of feminism, but they got all the talking points of feminism. It's so interesting to me. Like, where are they picking these things up? There's no social media. People don't have parents. Or do they? Yes, they do. Come on. Like this, just listen to this, please. Here goes some more.
Okay, I'm sitting here talking to one of my male students. How old are you?
I am 12.
12, all right. So we've been talking about family and stuff. I was talking to him also on another podcast about bullying. And today, he asked me about the podcast I did yesterday. And I told him, I asked my students, hey, if somehow we could put all the single moms and their children in one state, would that create a strong community? And then I even said, how do you think they would compete against the next door state who has the complete family together, which is the mother, the father, and the child? And I want you to tell me what you said about men and how. I just want you to say it. What'd you say?
All right, so I said that our community would be stronger, right?
Yeah, you said it would be strong with just single mothers.
It would be strong with single mothers because
you said we don't need. I need you to say it.
We don't really need men in the community.
There we go. Explain.
Only because we got a Women's History Month, right?
Right.
We do. And I just feel like we don't always need men in our community just to create or make bigger things. We always can have like just women. We always can just have like just women. Like,
so the world will be okay with just women. If we're not talking about, we're not going to talk about reproducing. We know we need both to reproduce.
The full world would be.
You think the world would be totally better
without men?
Yeah, without men. Like, as far, let's just say they just there for reproductive, and that's it, just to make sure the population doesn't die. You think if they were separate from everybody, the world would be even better?
I mean, probably no, because it's some.
But wait a minute, that's what you just said.
It's some single moms out here that be missing a man,
But you just sat here and said we don't need men. So, but now you're saying we do.
No, hold on. Let me get back to that.
Yeah, go
ahead. We do. I mean, we don't. We don't need men.
Okay.
Because like. I know this might sound like strong and we talk about something, but like what I'm saying is like men, like men can lift like heavy things and stuff.
Facts, but we got machines to do that now.
Exactly. So yeah, but I'm saying like a couch, like when you always moving something and then the man got to do the heavy work.
Hold on, but wait, are you suggesting that women can't team up and move this heavy couch? Can't they?
I'm saying. 2 females can also be in the same position as the males.
Correct.
They can lift
heavy stuff now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not saying we always need the man to do stuff.
Right.
Like,
Right. No,
women.
I was just saying, it sounded like at first you was trying to say that women couldn't lift the heavy couch.
Women deserve a lot of respect. So.
Right.
So, when I made that statement, then did you feel like I was disrespecting women?
I forgot what you said. What you say again?
Did I make you feel like I
know what you
just
said.
When I said,
what did you say?
Because my comment is we need both. I'm not making the statement we don't need women. I think the community would be jacked up if all the women disappeared, and I think it would be jacked up if all the men disappeared. We need both. But you made a strong statement and said we don't need men, and I just totally disagree with that. All right, go ahead. So did you feel like at first I was disrespecting women?
I don't feel like you were disrespecting women, but I feel like you was kind of like
minimizing what they do in the community.
Yeah,
like making lessening what they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're important. I just find it interesting that a lot of us say we don't need men. You rarely hear people say we don't need women. You don't think that's interesting?
Like that we don't need women?
No, I find it interesting that people are not running around saying we don't need women, but it's tons of people running around saying we don't need men. I find that very interesting.
Because we really don't need men. Like,
Welcome back to Breakdown Friday. Joseph Ward, Patrick Urban, Professor Carlton Jones. Just want to put this out real quick. If you hear me sounding a little slurring or whatever, it's hard to understand some of the things I said. Got a tooth pulled this morning, but we soldiering through. So we are here because this topic has to be talked about. Shout out to the brother who put this video together. And shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. I was scrolling through YouTube and I just so happened to come across a video from Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, and I'm looking for some of the other information I have, but I come across a video from Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. I recently, I subscribed to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson channel, subscribed to it a while ago. But I was going to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson's page to YouTube channel to kind of look at some of the videos that he had with BGS Ipmore. Because they be going in, like him and BGS Ipmore, they be going in. They be like a mastermind when they get together. But I came across that video. And it was a lot more because the gentleman was in the video talking and giving this piece as well. But I came across this particular video, and when I saw it, it made me angry. It made me angry because it's the results of things that we see on a regular basis. Our young children and our young men are being socialized and being conditioned to think that men aren't needed, but more specifically for our community, that Black men aren't needed. And that can be that's furthest from the truth. Like I don't understand how people can really come to the conclusion and have an idea that a whole society can be ran, and that society can be maintained, and that society can even improve if men aren't around, but more specifically, Black men. So the brother who made the video is a gentleman named Rodney Smith, who's an educator. The Black Family Institute is Brother Rodney Smith's YouTube channel. So make sure y'all go subscribe to Brother Rodney Smith YouTube channel. Go do that right now. Pause this and go subscribe to Brother Rodney YouTube channel. Come on back. The Black Family Institute. Link is in the description. Where men are needed, but more specifically, Black men are needed. Black women need Black men, and Black men need Black women. The children, Black children need Black men and Black women, but we are at a place in time in history where our children are being programmed, and especially a young Black boy is being programmed to believe that he himself would not be viable when he becomes a man. Because that's the ultimate conundrum in this, the ultimate irony in this is the young Black boy is having this conversation with his teacher, with Mr. Rodney Smith. And the young Black boy is expressing to him, of course, we know off of learned behaviors, or why a Black man isn't needed, not understanding that he himself will grow up into a Black man and become a Black man. So does he see any value in himself as a Black boy? Because that would be my first question to him. If I was to talk to him, I would ask him, do you see value in yourself as a Black boy? Because what we know so far in the rhetoric that you've given us, you won't see value in yourself after the age of 18. And that's not good. That's sad. So that means our society is going backwards. We're regressing. We're getting worse. If our children believe that they don't need their fathers, they don't need their brothers, they don't need their cousins, they don't need their nephews. What? But I'm gonna start with you, Pat. You work with kids. You are You have conversations like this with kids in the program that you deal with. I believe this is your first time seeing this video. What's your reaction to this conversation and the video from what we just saw?
Sounds about right.
Which is sad.
I think so. I have these conversations, and I've been having these conversations with kids for years. My conversations go a bit different, because I don't give the kid, like, one thing I can appreciate about what the brother was doing was he was trying to give the brother a rope to climb out of the hole that he was digging for himself. And so I can appreciate that. But I think in terms of like really seeing the depths of what we're dealing with, though, you have to remove that lifeline. So when I'm talking to kids about it, I will sit in silence. Well, do you feel like men are needed? Like, I've asked that exact same question, and then I just wait and I watch them spin in circles, and try to figure it out. And like I said, I understand for the purposes of recording and for the purposes of creating a dialogue what the brother was doing, and I can appreciate that. What I'm saying is the situation is so much worse than what was captured on this video, because he was giving the young man a lifeline. He was trying to help him by filling in the blanks, by giving him different handles that he could latch on to, by, trying to say, oh, you mean this, or you mean, when you just let these kids talk. This is like, I'll give you an example that's coming to mind right now. I asked a young man a similar question. I said, this was a couple years back. I said, do you see any value in men in the community? He said, no. I said, tell me more about that. Explain that to me. He said, well, when you really look at it, like, women kind of control everything and they do everything. And like, just think about your mother, right? Like, you love your mother more than you love your dad. Like, how many of us don't even really know who our dad is? Like, and the whole time I didn't say a word. I just listened to him. I nodded, letting him know that I was paying. And I listened to him ramble for about 15 minutes. Around about the 6-minute mark, something interesting happened. It's like a light switch went off. He was like, I mean, like I'm not saying men aren't, like, well, hold on. Let me start over.
Start thinking about what he was saying.
Right. I said, go ahead, start over. He started over. He said, okay, I'm not saying men aren't, like, there's no value in being a man. I'm just saying, like, I think with women, there's just, like, and he got stuck. And that was the loop we was in. He would hard reset back to what he started with, realize what he was saying, and then try to spin out of it and get stuck, trying to equate some sort of value to manhood. And we did this, like I said, I listened to him for about 15 minutes before I finally was like, all right, you can relax because you're about to have an aneurysm. But just watching it over and over with kid after kid, year after year, basically saying the same, family after family, saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It really gives you a picture of the depths of the depth of the problem that we're dealing with. And some of these are kids that have been working with me for years. They have fathers in their lives. Some of them do. So you can't just chalk that up to, with them only the kids that ain't got no daddy. I've heard the same thing from kids that have fathers at home. Our program, the program I work in, has more men up there than women in terms of like actual staff, but we still hear it. So this is not something that's just like environmental in terms of like the
Culture.
individual circumstances. Right. This is culture. This is bigger than well, these kids aren't being exposed to positive black male role models. That's a lie. These
Bullshit.
kids are being exposed to that,
Bullshit.
but they still have the same rhetoric, the same programming.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember it was either on the phone conversation or in our group chat. I had never heard the word before. PC was the first person I ever heard say the word, the gynocracy. And I know I think Pat was the first person I talked to after that. I say, Pat, what the hell is a gynocracy? And Pat was like, shit, you got to add PC.
Yeah, because PC was the first person I heard say it too. So
right. But
I heard a lot of words before, not that one.
But I found out that if I'm correct, it came from BGS Ipmore. And then I also heard T. Hassan, because T. Hassan Johnson and BGS Ipmore and PC are the three people that I hear using this word. but I said that because
being in such a esteemed company.
There you go. I want PC. I want you to break down what a gynocracy is, but also how the gynocracy affects what the young man is saying in this video.
Okay, well, and I want to give credit where credit's due, because the first place I heard the word gynocracy was from actually Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels was from the tree of BGS Ipmore. So shout out to the elder who is still. I was literally listening to BGS Ipmore on my way up the steps.
I've been listening to him all day.
Yo, I can listen to BGS Ipmore like all day, because he's always dropping something. And and the fact that he actually comes from the Black nationalist Pan-African that community. So it just speaks volumes into somebody that's been in that community, but actually sees the world as it is pertaining to black men and the mistreatment of black men.
And we're going to get into that too.
Yeah, so BGS, Itmore, like I said, Kevin Samuels, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, who actually linked me up with, who put the plug in for me and Brother Rodney, and brilliant brother who's doing wonderful work with those children out there in Indiana. And, the Green Gorilla, he identifies as the G with the PhD. I listen to those brothers all the time. And so the term gynocracy, from my understanding, is not a matriarchy. A lot of people believe that we live in a matriarchy in the black community because we live in a matrifocal society that's focused on, an elder, typically Big Mama, who actually is the, she's the bottom line, she's the last line in terms of authority in our community. But actually, what a gynocracy is, it actually points to the fact that if you think of America as a plantation, the black community being a prison on the plantation of America,
prison population,
right? Then the warden of the prison will be the gynocrat. She is empowered by the state to have gynocratic rule over the prison. She in the prison, everybody has to answer to her, but she still has to answer to the governor of that state. She still has to answer to the government that provides resources to that particular prison. So that's sort of like the best way I can describe it. And in our community, black women have been given so many, lifted so many ways from the federal government, to the point where it's created a niche where it's etched out the man's responsibility in terms of provision, in terms of protection, because all the sister has to do is dial 911, and no matter what the circumstances is, the brother is going to be targeted. And she knows this. So what's been happening in our community as of late is black men have been painted into a corner to a point where black men have not been able to exude any masculine authority in our community, and we're always challenged. I could recall a year and a half ago working in a middle school teaching social studies, and a seventh grade girl raised up on me and lifted her head up and eyeballed me and said, "Look." And before she can get the next word out, I had to, "Oh, who are you talking to, little girl?" And it sort of snapped her back into reality for her to realize she was actually talking to a grown man. But in gynocratic rule, it doesn't matter the age of the man. It doesn't matter the age of the girl or the women. We constantly saw on Kevin Samuel's show women that was young enough to be his daughter talking to him as though he needed to answer to her authority.
We see that a lot in our community. We see that a lot from black women specifically too.
Brother, we see, and I work on a college campus, and I normally don't do this because people like doxing and all that stuff, but I work for in that college, I work for a program called the Center for Male Engagement. Our primary purpose is to level the playing field for young brothers so that they actually have a chance to succeed in that academic arena. You know what happens on a daily basis? We constantly get bombarded from other departments talking about, well, y'all have all these resources and y'all do all these different things. How come we can't do this for the girl? Young ladies are walking to our office, see us hard at work and say, how come we don't have this for the girl? Not understanding that they already function from an academic advantage. Every program at their school is designed for them. And the reason we even exist is because the deficit that exists on college campuses for young black males. It's an adverse environment. Nobody helps them out and tells them. We have first year college students all the time. Nobody tells them what they need to do to get their financial aid. Nobody tells them how to schedule their classes. Nobody tells them how to go to academic advisement. Nobody tells them about how to set their schedule up so they can succeed. Nobody provides any other thing. So that's where we step in. We also are 6 brothers that actually maintain a standard of masculinity for these brothers. And we actually are the ones that hold them accountable to a degree that nobody else. We don't pamper them, baby them, anything of that nature.
Good.
But we treat them, because we understand that more than just what's described in our job descriptions, we have to actually be there to give black men a chance to succeed in that environment. Not just in that environment, but we have to, succeed in a place where they can succeed above and beyond just a 2-year community college. Now, some of the things that y'all were talking about earlier took me back, and I don't want to go too much further in it, but because I know, I can get ahead of things a little bit, but like when I heard Patty talking, I thought about that meme that came up where you had the black mother, the daughter, and the son, and the silhouette of a black man walking out the door. And the mother says, "I don't need a man." The daughter says, "I don't want a man." And then the young boy says, "I don't want to be a man."